Most kittens dream of curling up in a sunny spot, or maybe causing a little mischief with the curtains. But Leaf? Leaf decided life was far too short for ordinary cat behavior only. Why nap when you can paddleboard? Why watch water from a distance when you can leap straight into it? This tiny kitten story is anything but ordinary.
Ready? Set. Go.
It all began on a day when he was almost overlooked, mistaken for something as fragile and fleeting as a leaf blowing in the wind. When he was first discovered, Leaf weighed less than a pound. He was skin and bones, a fragile scrap of fur fighting to survive. His body was crawling with fleas, his little face marred by a swollen, crusty eye. He looked more like a fragile shadow than a playful kitten. Anyone who saw him that day might have thought there was little chance of recovery. But someone did stop. Someone saw him and decided to give this tiny soul a chance. Even though the first thought was, I probably can't keep him, compassion won out. He was scooped up and brought home. That first night was rough. Leaf was weak, miserable, and clearly in need of help. He got a much-needed bath to rid him of the fleas. He was whisked off to the vet, where things seemed almost worse before they improved. His eye looked painful, and there were moments of doubt, moments of wondering if he could even be saved. But Leaf, as it turned out, had other plans. At first, he was kept separate from the rest of the household, safe in a bedroom or the bathroom where he could heal in peace. Slowly, cautiously, he began to realize that the hands reaching for him weren't threats. They were there to help. And once he figured that out, his personality came roaring to life. The frail, trembling kitten began to show its true colors, and they were spicy. Leaf quickly developed into a tiny ball of confidence with an attitude 10 times his actual size. A trip to the store? He'll come along. Someone daring to leave the room without him? Absolutely unacceptable. Leaf had made up his mind. He belonged everywhere as human went. He was introduced to his siblings, and this once abandoned weak kitten became a part of the family. And the good news for everyone was that Leaf didn't need expensive eye surgery. He was all ready for a new life. When the family went on a trip near a lake, Leaf made sure to prove that he was more than just a tag-along. Most cats treat water as their sworn enemy. But Leaf? He dipped a paw, then another, and before anyone could stop him, he was out on a paddleboard like a seasoned adventurer. And when his human was in the water, he didn't hesitate for a second. He launched himself right toward them. The first time it happened, it was pure shock. Who had ever heard of a cat who willingly jumped into water? And not just into water, but into waiting arms? That was the moment everyone realized. This kitten wasn't just surviving. He was living life full throttle. Still, it's wild to think how close things came to turning out differently. At the very beginning, there had been the thought of finding another home for him, maybe passing him along. After all, rescuing him hadn't been part of the plan. But then came the baths, the vet visits, the careful nights spent helping him heal. And then came the leap, that literal leap into the water, into arms he trusted completely. How could anyone say goodbye after that? Leaf had clearly chosen his person, and in return, his person realized that letting him go wasn't even an option anymore. Their bond had grown too deep, too fast, sealed with that mixture of courage, trust, and absolute affection only a rescued animal can show. Leaf strutted around as though he were the biggest cat in the world, a lion trapped in a kitten's body. He was bold, demanding, and endlessly curious. He had no idea how small he really was. Or maybe he did, and he just didn't care. Because in his eyes, he wasn't just a cat, he was the cat. Trips to the store? He was ready. Time by the water? Better make room on the paddleboard. If his human was there, Leaf was going too. And what's more, every leap, every cuddle, every insistent demand for attention wasn't just playfulness, it was love. When he hurled himself into waiting arms, it wasn't just about curiosity or excitement. It was a kitten saying, "You're my mom, you're my safe place." After everything he's been through, the fleas, the sickness, the painful eye, the fragile start where survival seemed uncertain, Leaf came out on the other side not just healthy, but unstoppable. Looking at him today, you'd never know how close things once were. You'd see a confident little daredevil, a water-loving cat who thinks he's invincible, living every day to the fullest. And it's impossible not to wonder, what if he hadn't been found that day, so small and fragile he could be mistaken for a drifting leaf? The thought is heartbreaking. Because Leaf isn't just surviving now, he's thriving, spreading joy and laughter to everyone around him. His presence is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary companions come from the unlikeliest beginnings. Leaf's story is one of resilience, yes, but it's also one of humor. Because let's be honest, a cat who insists on joining every car ride, every paddleboarding session, every moment of your daily life, that's not just resilience, that's personality. Big personality. He's a force of nature, a little leaf that refused to be carried away by the wind, anchoring himself firmly in the heart of the person who saved him. Today, he's proof of what happens when kindness meets determination. He's a living example of how a fragile beginning doesn't have to define the ending. And he's a daily reminder that sometimes the best adventures come in small, whiskered packages, even the kind that try to steal your paddleboard. Leaf may have been tiny, weak, and nearly overlooked, but he grew into a bold, adventurous companion who refuses to be left behind. And that, more than anything, is why his future looks brighter than anyone could have imagined on the day he was first discovered. Indeed, Leaf isn't just living his best life. He's redefining what a cat's best life can look like, one leap, one paddleboard ride, one joyful splash at a time.